Hey there guys, Pre-Marine81 here. I want to go over a couple products I picked up about a week ago, and that's what you see laying before you right here. These are two products made by a company called Blade Tech. You may or may not have heard them, or you might actually own some. If you do, you're probably already familiar with most of their, the products that they make. I was looking for a tension-based holster for my 1911, which is this one here. They don't really give you any kind of like model names or anything like that. It's just they're one for the 5-inch government. It is made out of Kydex. Both of these are. I ended up having to get the mag holster in OD green, as you can see, which isn't really that big of a deal to me. I don't know. I might end up Duracoating this the same color, the OD green, but I don't know. We'll find out. But the reason why I went with this product was, one, the company themselves has got a lot of really good reviews. A lot of people use it for IDPA, and I figured, man, if they're rocking their holsters, then it's got to be good. It was a little bit on the pricey end. I think I paid somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe like $55 to $65, something like that, for this one. The mag holster was, I think, a little bit cheaper than that. I think I picked that up for maybe $25 or something. But anyway, I wanted to get away from the Serpa holsters, which that's what I've run for years. Not to say anything bad about them. They do make good products. I do like them. They have their place. And I still do run them in certain situations, depending on what it is I'm doing. But honestly, over the years and carrying a weapon like this, you really kind of, at least for me personally, this is just my 2 cents, I didn't really see the necessity in having that level 2 anymore. It really, in my opinion, started to become more of a liability really than anything, because it just seemed like no matter how much I trained, doing the dry fire kind of stuff at home with just drawing and everything, it just seemed like every once in a great while, even though that you're very familiar with it, and when I was proficient in using that system, you still would have that, that occasional hiccup when you're running at full speed where you go to draw this weapon, and that little button that they put on there, you go to actuate that, and you don't depress it fully. So what ends up happening is you're running full speed, you come in, you grab that sucker, you go to release that little button, and it doesn't happen, and then what you end up doing is just jerking real hard on the whole holster on your pants, and then you're like, oh crap. So then you got to push that button down, mash the button down, and then draw it out. And for me, that really, I don't know, that kind of bothered me. It always kind of, it was something in the back of my head, like, man, what if that happens when it really matters? That 1 second where you go to do that and you realize that you didn't disengage that lock, and you got to do it again. You got to stop and then do it again once you realize what you did and pull it out. That could cost you your life or somebody else's. So I thought, well, what am I really benefiting by having a level 2? And that was just, retention. That I knew it wouldn't come out, but I have never been in a situation in day to day where I put my body in a position to where it's fallen out of the holster. Never. So I thought, well, it's kind of stupid to do that, especially because one small side effect is when you do have that mechanism that's in locking mechanism, not this, I'm talking about the Serpa. If debris and sand gets down inside that little bar, if you own one of these, you know what I'm talking about. If crap gets down inside there, it actually will jam it up, and you can't actually unlock it after that. So there's just a couple things that, like, I don't know, it just kind of worried me. So I decided I'm just going to go with, tension-based, which that's what these are. You see these 2 screws, which is nice that they didn't just do one, because you can kind of adjust both of these. Sorry, let me get this in frame here. You can kind of adjust both of these to differentiate the tension on the lower part of the frame or up on around the trigger area. So you can kind of play around with it to get it to fit exactly how you want, how tight. I usually keep mine a little bit on the looser end, just because I want that rapid deployment. And I mean, it's still locked in there, as you can see. but I just don't want it really tight. There's the back. I do carry mine at the cant. I can't get it in frame here for you. Sorry, folks. I'm trying to do this on my damn dresser, and it's not really working out real well. I don't think I'm going to do this again in the future. But yeah, as you can see, I have mine at the FBI cant. It's how I prefer to carry it. It is very slim. These actually do hug it pulls the weapon into your body closer than what the Serpas do. The Serpas are okay at it, but this really kind of just snugs it right up to your body, which I like. It's easier to conceal that way. The deployment on it is awesome. It locks in there positively. You draw it remarkably fast. There's nothing to, like I said, there's nothing to mess with. You just clicks in, clicks out. I'll show you. So it comes out pretty easy. And this is kind of hard to do with just holding it, but this snaps in, pops out, real easy. So there's that. Real happy with that. Here is the mag holster. It holds two single stacks. If you're wondering, these are Chip McCormick Power Mags, which I'm not real sure about them yet. So far, they seem okay. Get you a better shot of this here. This is also the tensioner screw, which is nice because you can get it as tight or loose as you want for drawing. I tend to make my mag holsters just a little bit tighter because those seem to be a little bit easier to pop out of there. They use this, what's called a tech lock on the back. Now, this is probably my only gripe about this, and the reason why the tech lock itself does snap down amazingly securely. It's not going to go anywhere, and then you can also adjust. There's two little bars in here where you can adjust for the width of whatever type of webbing or belt you're using. So that's nice. The only problem is that the way this is designed, because it doesn't have the loops like this, you can't, how am I going to explain this? The way that I have this situated on my belt is where I will run the belt through here, one, and then in between here I'll run it through a belt loop on my pants and then go through the other side. So that way the holster itself is kind of locked into place. You don't get a whole lot of side to side movement. Well, because this is not like that, it's just a single pass through. You can't really do that. So that's my only gripe, is that I do get a lot of side to side play in between the belt loops. It basically slips back and forth on you, and it can get kind of annoying, especially with the weight of two of these magazines. If it's moving in an uncomfortable place, or you're sitting like that and it shifts on you, it's kind of a pain, really. That's the only thing I don't like about it. As far as retention and everything, it's nice. It seems well made. It is Kydex. It's very slim. It does hug that. I mean, look how tiny that is. It does hug this real close to your body, which I like. Yeah, that's my only complaint, is this tech lock. It doesn't really work the way that I usually carry it. Because I want, when I put this stuff on my belt, especially with the amount of weight that I'm carrying with two of these magazines in a full-size 1911, I really need it to kind of be locked down, to not be able to move around at all. And if it starts doing that, it's just really uncomfortable, especially when I'm wearing it all day. But there you have it, folks. I would recommend these products to anybody. I haven't had any kind of issues out of them so far. And honestly, I do prefer this over the Serpa, like I said. If you can find a good deal on them, I would definitely pick them up. I don't think you're going to be disappointed with them at all. And if you have any questions or anything, feel free to leave it. And as always, thanks for watching. Pepperine81 out.